We're celebrating. It's 5 years. We're rolling on the road. We're rolling on the road. 100 shades of diversity. We're rolling on the road. Oh, rolling on the road. We're rolling on the road. 100 shades of diversity. We're rolling on the road. Take it away.
All right. All right. Thank you, Cousin Pat. We appreciate Cousin Pat. I love to hear the theme song all the time. It just excites me. I try not to sing it, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Wednesday. And can you believe it? It is August. What's today? The 5th, the 6th? It's the 6th already. 6th of August. Wow. I don't know where the summer went. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. I'm sure that makes all the parents really happy. Yeah, kind of happy. But I am so excited today. Our guest, you guys have seen them before, Dave and Shauntae. But however, they are here for a twofold reason. If you have been following them, you know they are a part of America's favorite couple. And I know you saw it on the flyer. People are probably like, what's going on? America's favorite couple. But a couple of weeks ago, we kind of did a quick commercial break concerning them. And thank you so much to all of you who went to their webpage and voted for them. I'm not sure where they just went. They disappeared, guys. I don't know where they went. I want to say hi, Jess. Jessica Strand is tuning in. Hey, Jess. So good to have you here on today. But I'm not sure where my guests went. But I'm going to share about what they're doing. And it's called America's Favorite Couple. And let's see, it's up already. So I can go over here. I can share my screen. And there they are. Now, they have until tomorrow. They are currently number 3 in their category, and they have until tomorrow to stay at number 3 to get up to the number 1 position. Up, they are back. Let's see. Here we go. How can I get to them? There they are. Hello.
Awesome.
So we're just talking about your ad. Let's go make this a big page. There we go. They are currently 3rd in their group. Do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yes, we can. Yeah, we want to share it with everybody of what we're doing. It's with the Variety America's Favorite Couple competition. It's a competition that thousands of couples went and applied for, and through the grace of God, we were able to be finalists in this competition.
About how many people do you think started out with you guys on this journey?
So there's different groups that they compiled the contestants in. So it started off with thousands and thousands of people trying to get in. And then they narrowed it down to the top 20 couples, then the top 15, then the top 10, and 5. So we got to be number 1 in our group by tomorrow, 7
So
p.m.
what is your group? Because it says on here currently 3rd in their group. What does that mean? What's in your group, or who's in your group?
So the contest, they categorize the groups that they put everybody into. So we just got put into the particular one that we're in. And so that's their way of breaking it down to where everybody can get to the final people. So you have to fight in your particular group for the number 1 spot by tomorrow, 7 p.m. And then the remaining couples that are left that are also at that number 1 spot will fight each other for.
How about we said we're going to compete?
I'm sorry.
You keep using the word fight, but
Well,
it's not fight. You're going to compete. Let's use the word compete.
Yes, everybody's competing to remain in the contest because the contest ends in September.
September when?
They'll be announcing the winners on September the 19th, 2025.
What is the last day for people to vote?
I would say that would be like.
Well, currently, the current voting we need now in order to even make it to the September 19th grand prize, that ends when? Today?
Tomorrow at 7 p.m. is when we would have to be number 1 in our group. So right now we're currently number 3. So we need to make it to number 1. And then they'll take all the number 1s, put them together in one group. And then they're finalizing it these few last weeks. That's how the contest is moving.
Wow. So America's favorite couple, what does that mean? Just the fact that you're a couple? Do you have to be married?
So basically, America's favorite couple was designed for people that are in relationships, or they can be married, long-term relationships, married. They want them to show the levels of love and challenges they may have been through to overcome, because love wins. So that's basically the purpose of the contest.
Do you have to have a platform, or do you just have to love each other?
Basically, the people that they chose, because the contest people are the ones who actually chose the couples to start in the contest in the first place. I believe having some platform would help, but I don't think that is a requirement to even be in the contest. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's more social support for people who know that couple, who've experienced good times with that couple, or even those who may not know the couple and see the goals that they have created together, and they somehow connect with that. They connect with that couple. They understand the ups and downs. They understand what that couple may have been through, which relates to them, their own mother, father, their sons and daughters. You know, the range of how especially our relationship, the range of lives to be touched, just varies from 0 to 100 real quick, I think.
Okay, so you did not have to have a platform. The way you were able to, submit your application and be accepted was being America's favorite couple, by being a couple, and there wasn't, a stipulation on time or being married, just being a couple together. But you guys chose to use this as a springboard for a platform,
Yes.
which I think will pull a lot of people in. Those who are watching today, I want to say thank you to Dr. Pat Wembley. Yes, Dr. Pat, thank you so much for tuning in. Always good to see you. And you looked wonderful on Saturday. Appreciate you so much. And she definitely knows what it means to have some type of disability touch your life, a friend's life. So I think that what your platform will really resonate. You want to share about what you're using this for?
So
Because wait a minute, but hold on. I want y'all to know this is not no little chintzy competition. The winner gets $20,000.
That's true.
yes, so,
So I just need y'all to know they get 20 grand.
so
Okay.
this is a nationalized contest. And when me and David got into this contest together, one of the questions that was asked is, if you were to win, what would you want to do once you won with what you won? Like what is your overall goals? I have two daughters with autism, and Dave has one daughter with autism. And we both know that a lot of times families do not get respite for their children or young adults with autism. And so we figured, what better way would it be if we were to win this contest? We would want to hold a gala to raise even more money on top of that to donate to the family so that they can get at least 10 hours of respite time, each family that applies.
Okay, so you would kind of set up like a foundation with the money.
Yeah, yes, or have fundraise for a organization that's already set up to do what
To provide respite.
exactly, and not just respite, but also education and awareness. That's a big point too. Is those who don't necessarily know what autism is, as far as the different spectrums, you know, education is important, especially with their siblings, uncles, aunts, family members, of course, the special education teachers. You know, they have their own education behind it, but just spreading that around to people who don't necessarily have the knowledge behind it is definitely important, and we would love for that to be spread around through what we get through Variety magazine.
Well, I want to say thank you to Carol Englishman. That's my neighbor. Hey, Carol, I'm waving at you. She's just around the corner. She's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in, Carol. Now, Saturday, I was at a resource fair, and as we were talking about some of the disability services that were available, one in particular that I had partnered with someone to really push on Saturday, major goal for me, was one of the persons that came to attend the fair started talking. And of course, nobody ever needs anything. Thanks so much. They just want to know what you have for free and can they have some candy. And I said, no, you don't get to get off that easy. Let's start talking. Well, she came at the table stating no problems, no issues, don't need this. Can you everybody was given a passport to get signed off. So you had to go to all the vendors, get them to sign off on your passport for you to win this prize at the end of the fair. So she was like, just sign my passport. All right, no problem. Well, as I'm signing her passport. So, do you know anybody who has autism? Do you need rides if you have cancer? And boy, did the floodgates open up. Found out that she has cancer, and it would be nice for someone to drive her when she has chemotherapy, get her home, prepare a meal for her. I said, oh, in my mind, I was saying, yeah, but you didn't need nothing. You just want your passport signed and get some candy. And then as we continued to talk, she said that I believe it's her grandson is autistic. I believe, this is just me, that when you are an autistic parent, there are certain disciplines that you use. When some people call it a meltdown, some say stimming, whatever your word is, when your child has an outburst, you know how to handle it. And I was really sad that she didn't want to help do respite for her daughter, because she said her answer to it, he just needs his tail beat.
Mm.
what do you say to people when they make that comment, or if they see an autistic child having a moment and you're trying to cope with that moment, and each parent has their own way of dealing with their child, because regardless of where they fall on the spectrum, each child responds differently when they're challenged or frustrated. When you see something like that, what do you say? What do you do?
I would think, you know, my daughter, she's 14 and my other daughter is 11 now. And I think a lot of times when I would take them to certain places, as my as me being the parent, I have to be aware of the surroundings because sometimes lights, noise, too many people in one place can trigger off behaviors that most people would find aggressive or just over the top. And so I think pulling them to the side, trying to regroup with them and figure out what is going on, because sometimes if they're classified as nonverbal, they're not always able to just tell you something is wrong. So we have to learn the cues, learn their behaviors, what triggers them, like kind of learn by watching them, seeing what noises, seeing what food, seeing what environment is disturbing them, because consistency and repetitiveness is very important when dealing with children and young adults with autism. And for those parents or people who don't have children, when they recommend physical discipline, or oh, they're just doing it for attention or whatever, not on that level, we have to just take that with a grain of salt and move on. Because at the end of the day, we know what's best for our kids and what they need. And sometimes people giving you advice on the outside that don't have experience with dealing with children with autism, it can be kind of like overwhelming. It can be overwhelming to the parent. So,
Right. And it falls back down to awareness again. That falls back down to awareness, being educated on that type of child, that type of situation that parent is in. Um, no, I don't have diabetes, but I understand how sugar affects those who do have it, and that only came through educating, and only came through someone having the ability and taking the time to explain what this is, what's the outcome, how you can have more control over a situation. And again, that falls back to our whole plan of awareness to those who are not aware, and those who are aware getting more educated and more help.
respite is very important, especially because it's hard to trust when you have a nonverbal child to leave them in someone else's care, because as parents we want to be there every single moment. We want to know what's going on every single moment, but sometimes we're not always able to be there at that exact moment. And so entrusting those who are able to be trained to deal with children with autism is always a great thing. And that's the key to the respite part. I know that there's so many families right now that would benefit from being able to have at least the 10-hour respite opportunity, even if it's just for them to rest, wash their clothes, just take a breather, just, knowing that their child is safe in the community and that they can come back and pick their child up once they're done with their respite hours.
So you would like a drop-in facility, or you're looking to partner with a drop-in facility?
Yeah, so after we win this contest, because we're claiming that, what we would want to do is make sure that all the donations, all the money that's being raised from the gala goes directly to the respite care for the family. So like if the family has an IEP or they have some type of paperwork showing a diagnostic, they can fill out paperwork and be admitted into this that we're doing. And so we want everyone to feel welcome. It is first come, first serve. So our goal would be, we hope to help at least 5,000 families if we can.
Mm-hmm.
you know, with the community spreading out and different companies partnering up, it could even be 10,000. We just want to make sure that we're reaching the masses with this, because this is very vital and it's very serious, and it's very much needed. And we're hoping that by them seeing us doing this, that this can become maybe even a regular thing for the state of Michigan and other local cities and states.
Well, I want to say thank you to Cheryl Jones for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You bring up some great questions out of your comments. So my first question would be, if you don't win, will you still do it?
Yes, I mean, we would hope by the exposure thus far and people seeing what our common goal is for autism awareness, would still like to partner up with us and still put on a fundraising gala. I mean, we just need the companies to believe in the vision the way we believe that it can happen and that it will occur. So yes, the goal is to hold the gala, but we would like to make it a national type of event if we can. But if we're not able to do it with this particular platform, that still doesn't stop the autism awareness journey. Autism is a journey. So we on this journey for the long haul.
Right. We, like I said, we both parents. We both parents of autistic children. So I mean, we in it for life anyway. So we might as well make sure we have the talents and the resources that we do have prior to this grand prize to alert those and aware those again who don't have the help and education that they need when it comes to autism. And as comedians, we both are comics. We both do comedy. As comedians, we understand how laughter heals, and we understand that it doesn't just heal one thing. There's a lot of things out there that we are definitely confident that will be addressed through our comedy shows, not just autism, but we also want to help those who are going through depression, going through I personally have epilepsy, those who need awareness of that. There's a lot of different avenues taken. We want this current attention to be magnified for autism awareness.
Then, of course, the next obvious question is, who provides respite for the two of you?
Oh, well, I have ABA. My daughter goes to ABA.
And can you say that? What is that's an acronym for?
I couldn't even. My child's mother should better. I know it's different. It's different. I know it's a respite place. It's a place that our kids get dropped off for observational therapy and speech therapy. The acronym for ABA is, I know the company is through Centria. So the ABA is, I think it's just a broad concept of what that is, because she used to go to a ABA called Acorn. So there's different names there's different ABA programs, but I can tell you what ABA do you have?
So basically, with autism spectrum, typically they get like the child will get an IEP involved.
Okay, what's an IEP? You're using acronyms. You got to remember that this is your opportunity to educate the audience. So you need to prepare yourself. If you're going to be number one and win, they're going to ask you all these questions when you get, your interview.
Yes, most definitely. Here you go. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we are clarifying what the acronyms mean so that the viewers can understand what that is and why those are required when you're dealing with an autistic child's diagnosis. So ABA, the acronym for ABA is an applied behavior analysis. So that is therapy that the child goes to one-on-one with their instructor, and they're teaching them speech. Um, Sometimes they teach the potty training if the child is in that stage, um, how to cope with different behavioral outbursts, how to teach them to show you signs for things that they need or they want. And it's a very um, important tool.
Definitely helpful.
It's definitely helpful, especially when the parents are on board with the actual company that offers this.
Mm-hmm.
What's an IEP? So a lot of times when children are diagnosed with autism, sometimes it can be confused with ADHD. That's attention.
Deficit disorder.
And so you have to have a more um, direct screening because they do screening before they give any type of diagnosis. So an IEP is an individualized education program. So when you take the child to the school of choice that you're trying to get them in, if the staff and they're noticing that there might be some challenges going, what they'll ask you is, would it be okay for us to do some further testing? They'll ask, can you be referred outside of the school if you don't want to necessarily do it inside of school? Once they, view the child and have an opportunity to collect the data that they need, then they come back to you with the results. And if your child is diagnosed with autism, they begin to let you know that there are services out there that the child could benefit from if you're willing as the parent to take them in to get further evaluated so it could be on paper.
Got it. Now, you're just going to have persons that already know their child has already been diagnosed and you're just providing respite care. How do you plan on promoting your new respite care program?
So social media is very important with this. We would like to be able to promote this unique opportunity with Medicaid, if we can speak to the HR in that department. Also, being allowed to have posters and flyers sent out in the community, a sponsored ad that's online. So, like if a person in a different state happens to see this and they want to acquire this type of respite time, we need to get on board with the different cities and different states who's running that in their department. Like out here, we have the King County Health Department where they have different people that work there that refer you to these types of programs. So we would make sure we take that information down there. Arbor Circle is also another good place to go to out here in Grand Rapids, Michigan to release this information to. Hope Network is also another big company that we could let them know about what we're trying to do and see if they're willing to promote it. So basically word of mouth, um, online influence. Um, Sometimes people have caseworkers, social workers, us trying to reach out to DHS, which is the Department of Human Services, with this particular service and see if this is something that they would allow in their field, to help intentionally target the families that do have children with autism that might want this type of respite.
There's definitely a lot of groups. There's definitely a lot of pages online. There's definitely a lot of uh, support emails that go between parents and or providers or just those who have custody of children with autism, and not just the list that she stated, but also our community clinic, such as Heart of the City, and organizations and facilities like who direct parents or direct um, they direct them to places that they can get more educated on the situation they may be in, or one they love, a loved one may be in.
211 is also another outlet where they release information to families that might call in, who might have a question about something. They have information that's there at their stations. And so being able to submit this to 211, and so if somebody just dials it up and they need more information, they can be referred to the people that we're going to be working with this. So, yeah.
Well, the time is now 32 minutes after the hour. It is 4:32. We want to say thank you so much for tuning into Rolling on the Road. Today is Wednesday and it is August 6th. So if you're watching this on the replay, more than likely the competition is over and you cannot vote, nor can you donate money. However, you can find Shauntae and David online, and we're going to post their information shortly, and they are going to move forward. Do you have a name for the respite care?
So I have a Facebook page on, and it's called Alana and Alante's Autistic Angels.
Mm-hmm.
That's been up for years. But I think that me and my partner can both agree that we believe our children are angels. They're autistic angels. And so
So it would be Autistic Angels Respite Care?
I think that would be a very suitable name for this particular endeavor. Yes, because we believe that the children were sent to us to help guide them through this, and we're chosen to have them in our lives, and so we're grateful for that. And so we want everyone in the world to know that you have an angel, an autistic angel walking around you.
Because like you said, not everyone is built to have an autistic child or deal with someone who is autistic. Not everyone is built for that. And we do like to think of our children as angels, those who not just test our patience, but teach us discipline. Some people can say test patience, but also teach us discipline. And also, you find characteristics about yourself that you didn't even know were there that makes you stronger in other aspects of your life. Having an autistic child, definitely.
Such as, what did you find out about yourself, David, that you didn't know once you had your daughter?
I would have to say my patience. I like to go. I like to move when I want to move. Those who I know are able to move like I can move. I'm always on that, hey, let's go. But with my daughter, I understand I have to slow it down. I have to schedule a lot. Scheduling was a big issue with me, scheduling things out more. I've taught myself how to schedule because we'll go to the Children's Museum, but there's only certain days that low sensory for children with autism. So I have to start scheduling out my life to understand, hey, this day is the only day that we can even do this, and we love doing it. So let's do it on this day. And that had to put a lot of stuff, not necessarily in the back seat, but rearranged how I handle the schedule of not just my week, but the rest of my life.
Shauntae, what did you learn about yourself?
I learned that because see, both of my daughters are classified as nonverbal. I learned how to work with my daughters so that they still can have a voice. They taught me how to communicate their needs to the world. At first, I didn't know how to do that very well. I often found myself saying that, um, why me? Why don't they do what I see other young girls do their age? And I had to realize something. Wait a minute. They might not do what all the other girls are doing, but they still do. So at the end of the day, I'm still experiencing teenager moments, uh, attitudes, behaviors, all of that. It still goes into play. Puberty, all that doesn't take a back seat. You still have to go through the different channels with your child because they become a young adult. And I want to make sure I'm giving them the best quality, despite the fact that they're not always able to choose things on their own or communicate it out of their mouth verbally. I still want them to have the best quality of life, and I still want them to um, dress a certain way, have their hair done a certain way, to feel good about themselves in the community as well, just like the rest of the teenagers, you know?
And hair do they have? Lord have mercy.
Yes, they don't really like getting their hair combed that much, but when their hair is done, pretty. I hear it pretty. Scattered word, pretty. So they know what it means when they ain't looking right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We want to say good afternoon to Dr. Vertanji. She is watching all the way from Detroit, Michigan. Dr. Vertanji, you know I'm expecting you to weigh in on some of this. If you've had respite care over there in Detroit, what does it look like? And is this something that could be used in Detroit as well? And where's Taz? Taz, if you are watching, my Razama Taz, if you're watching today, I know she knows all too well about ABA therapy and having respite care through her ABA. But they do have a place that they go to that is really nice, that is just set up for parents and their children with autism on the wherever they are on the spectrum. So they have like sensory tables just for them. Now, I want everybody to know that they can vote. We're going to put it back up. Again, we're going to add this to the stage.
Yeah,
And
all the Shade fans to know, even though they may watch this later, to still visit the site because the competition is still going on. So they may still have time to actually vote and donate in order for us to get the grand prize. Again, it doesn't wait until September. So,
But tomorrow we have to be in the number one spot by 7 p.m. 7 p.m. to continue this autism journey that we're trying to put out here nationally for all the families that would like to be a part of this. This is a near and dear journey for us as we are actually parents living that journey.
and we appreciate the fact that you will still do Autistic Angels Respite Care, whether you win or not. And I think I saw somewhere on there as I was reading it, because it says, I have, can I do that? No. Oh, I think I have to go around the back way. I can't manipulate it in StreamYard. But you guys, I'm going to post this momentarily, but you have to read their bio. I love it because in there, they talk about comedy and doing some comedy as it relates to autism. Now, what kind of jokes can you tell and people not be offended?
Well, I would say for me, as far as, because, I'm a comedian and my partner's a comedian, I would mainly talk about my experiences that I've had firsthand dealing with my daughters with autism. And the questions that sometimes people will ask you are questions that it's just mind blowing at times. Like, did you really just ask me that?
I understand that wholeheartedly. My favorite that would always happen, I never went into a Cracker Barrel and this did not happen. There would always be a group of little ladies sitting at the table. And the way it works is that, I'm riding with somebody. They get my wheelchair out, get me in, and they tell me, go get the table. And I'm supposed to sit at the table. They give me to the waitress and get seated. And then I'm supposed to, hold the table down until everybody, comes back, gets there to the table after parking. Or there's always, every single time, a group of little old ladies. Oh, honey, you are so cute in that wheelchair. My brother Bob had to be in a wheelchair because he broke his big toe when he was trying to bowl. I said, really? She was like, yeah. So I know how to take care of people in wheelchairs. So if you need me for anything, you can holler over here at me. And then the lady next to her said, oh, that's no big deal. Hey, you know what? I broke my leg when I was skiing in 1975. And so I had to spend 3 weeks in a wheelchair before I was able to even get on crutches. So I know best how she feels about being in that wheelchair, and I can help her the most. And then the third lady says, well, I can do all of you better. I just had hip surgery and I just got out of the wheelchair yesterday. So I know exactly what she's going through because I had to be in there for 8 weeks. And I just think that it's interesting that as much as I did not want to be in this wheelchair, I mean, I was angry, I fought it, and definitely did not want to get help when they sent me to Disability Advocates of Kent County. The VA did. And they said, are you ready for this? No, I don't want your help. I don't want to be here. I don't like it. And it's just amazing to me, the number of people that want to try to identify with me. No. Have you ever had people come up to you to try to identify in some kind of way if your baby was having a meltdown?
Yeah, my daughter, Alante, she went through a stage that most kids go through, the mind stage. She didn't go through it when she was 2 or 5. She went through it when she was a little bit older. And I think because
how old?
She was like 8 years old when this occurred at the store. Ooh. She finally was able to put 2 and 2 together with it. It hit her when it was able for her to understand that. So we was at the store. She seen some candy that she wanted, and she assumed because she seen it, it was hers. So she snatched it off the counter, and I told her, not yet, later. And some young lady who didn't even know me walks up behind me and says, why are you depriving her of the candy? And I said, I'm not depriving her. She can't just open up stuff and do that in the store. She says, just say what the truth is. You can't afford to pay for it. I'll buy it for her. And I told her no. So my daughter was going crazy. I heard someone say, just give her the candy. And it's like, as a parent, sometimes the solution for some might have been just hand her the candy so she can just be quiet. Or do I make sure that my daughter is clearly understanding that there's a time and place for candy?
Mm-hmm.
Disability, that doesn't mean it's okay for her to have candy all day or whatever she wants. She still has to be on the best behavior she can be on. And I reward her accordingly. But just because she's in a store crying for it and having a massive meltdown doesn't mean that she's going to get it just because she's autistic. And I think sometimes people misunderstand that aspect. They think that we're intentionally trying to harm them or take something from them, even more so. And it's not that way. It's not that way. We still have to be the parent and still have to guide our kids. And so she eventually got some candy, but not at that exact moment, because I wanted her to understand screaming and hollering and throwing yourself all over the place. It's not how you get the candy. You gotta wait. And so hopefully she was able to retain that. Now that she's a little bit older, she hasn't done that ever since. So I think she knows mommy's not going to give it to me just because I cry. So yeah.
What about you, Dave?
As far as my baby's a runner. She runs a lot. So,
We got a runner.
Yeah, she's heavy on what's over here, what's over there. So honestly, thankfully, the heaviest things I had to go through has always been trying to make sure I keep an eye on her. Just keeping an eye on her. She likes to run. But I have, with that came a discipline of the word no. You know, she had to understand what no meant when I
Is your daughter verbal?
No, ma'am, no.
Okay.
She there's times, you know what I'm saying? She has sometimes she's classified as nonverbal.
As nonverbal, okay.
But she got to understand. She understood what no means, and she stops her little feet, and she understands to turn back around and come to me when she hears me say no. Yeah, I would say that's one of my triumph moments dealing with my daughter was to have her recognize no and follow that direction
without her getting a spanking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because nobody believe that my daughter in any way, or any autistic child who if you put the energy in, is no way at all dumb, or no way at all severely uncomprehensive, to where you put the time and the effort in, that child will respond, maybe to no, all the way to water instead of juice. It can be done if the energy is put into it.
Wow.
Well,
You guys have a comment.
Right.
Ronnie Richardson, it says, God bless you all from Love Wins Ministry family.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ronnie Richardson. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate you for being consistent and following us on this amazing journey for autism.
I love it. I love it. Because, being a couple has its own challenges. But to be a couple and have children with disabilities, and you both do, so that's 3 children alongside, your other children that you're still trying to raise and have a relationship. And you're talking about, going around doing comedy. I know you guys have been to California, you've been to Vegas. I mean, you've been flying all over. What is that considered respite for you?
For me, I'm going to say that I don't consider it respite because we're working. I feel
But
that
you're not caring for the children, though. And
right.
That's respite, is not having to care for the children in that moment.
Right.
So, being away, doing something that you love can be considered, respite time, for you, because you're not caring for them.
I feel that any parent that is doing a job that's making revenue to help take care of their child, whether it's a food restaurant, whether it's at church, whether it's at a bank, the parents have to step away to be able to provide. And I think that we use comedy to heal, through laughter. And being able to do that and then come back to the state where it all started from and be able to give something back to the community is a huge is a huge blessing. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I've been doing comedy now for about a little over 12 years. My daughter's 8. Um, my child's mother, uh, she understood about my comedy career. She, her and I co-parent very well, and she understands that, um, you know, this comedy gets, bring in revenue, bring in not just money, but opportunities that most people may not have, the pleasure in having. Uh, Once my daughter does get of age, I would love for her to definitely. I mean, she sees the world a lot already, because her mom travels a lot. But um, as far as with me, I would love for her to come a lot more. But she travels a lot. As far as respite and my personal situation, it's never truly an issue because of the co-parenting that me and mother have. But not everyone's so lucky. Not everyone is so blessed to have that. Not everyone is sitting in the same seat as us, And I have cousins who are autistic, and I know what some of my aunts had to go through when their dads just completely cut ties off. Um, but one cut ties off for the children that they had that was not autistic, but the autistic one somehow just got cut off. Again, this goes back to being uneducated and not having the general support from people in order to decide, hey, I'm going to be there for this child, no matter how frustrating it gets, no matter how tedious things may be. Um, I couldn't imagine leaving my baby anyway, no matter what. But being more educated about it, being more, especially as a man, a mother's gonna take on this in general. This is generally speaking. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for all women out there, but I feel like a woman who has a child and carries that child is going to be more in tune of taking that role as the one who nurtures, um, and for no matter what, no matter what, and I'm happy that with even the ABA class, I know some of the gentlemen, some of the dads there, and we taught a lot about the situation. But that goes back to just having those programs, having the awareness for people to just not awareness, but the accessibility of someone who could be having a bad day, have somebody that they know that they can talk to. Um, because yeah, it's not all physical and it's not all mental just for the child, but the parent also needs that assistance as well.
But we have just a few minutes left, and I want to tell everybody, please, it's gonna be on my page on all of them. Take a look. We need,
Vote.
we need you to vote, vote, vote. Is it currently double votes now or still single?
So yesterday night at 9 p.m. it was double votes. Right now it's just single votes, but
Those matter.
those do matter as well. And we know that by tomorrow it might be double votes again. You can only vote once every 24 hours, but for those who decide that they want to donate towards the cause on this contest, they can come back on and re-vote again. They give you the opportunity to do so.
So donate whenever. Yeah, but you get 1 or 2 free votes every 24 hours.
All right.
And we have a challenge that's going on right now, by the way, too.
What is the challenge?
So the challenge it's called the 10 match. It's the $10 match, 10 toes down contest that's going on. What we're doing with that is that we believe that when you are a parent with dealing with children with autism, and when you're a parent in general, you have to be 10 toes down into this, because being a parent isn't easy and it does take a village. So we believe that anything helps towards donation, but it only takes 5 fingers and 5 more fingers to make 10. So if you donate 10, someone else matches you 10, then it goes on and on. It's like a snowball effect. So that's the challenge we got going on right now.
All right. So the company that is doing this, it's called Colossal Impact. They are a professional. They do competitions, but they professionally help organizations run money, win money, have money by offering competitions like this. And so when you send in your money to purchase votes, the money will go towards supporting the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank and the Oceana. Wait a minute. Okay. It says, okay, so the money goes towards the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank and Oceana in their respective missions to support hunger relief and ocean conservation.
Yes.
So they're not getting the money, guys. They don't get the money. When you go on there, let's see if we can pull that screen up so people can see what it looks like. Because I do believe when you get ready to vote, that it does tell you that. I can't remember. You would think that for many times as I voted, I would know. All right.
It's on the screen.
Can you see it on the screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Scroll down a little bit.
Wait
more.
a minute. Okay, so hold on. We want the people to see. So when you come on here, you're going to see their name and their information, where they are in the voting process. And this tells you the countdown here. So we have 1 day, 5 hours, and 1 minute and 30 seconds to get them to the number 1 spot. Now, here's all of their information about how they met. And then these are the 2 organizations that when you get ready to vote, it's going to benefit Oceana and the Los Angeles Food Bank. So all that information is here. Now we're down to the voting. They could very well tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning say it's going to be a 2-for-1 vote while everybody is getting down to the end. Hopefully they do that. But if not, this is how it works. You automatically get 1 free vote every 24 hours. If you donate 10 votes, as you can see, 10 for 10, 25 for 25, 50 for 50, 100 for 100, and 250 for 250. And if you can't do any of those amounts, you can always type in your amount that you can do. And there they are, powered by Colossal, which they're a nationally registered professional fundraiser that inspires people to advocate for themselves and those in need through online competitions like America's Favorite Couple. Colossal offers participants the opportunity to make their mark while also making a big impact. I love it.
Yes.
So this is a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, you donating to make a difference, Yes.
So when you go on there to learn, down at the bottom where it says learn more about them, they have currently 24 different competitions that are running. That's a lot. And they're all over the world. So currently they have 24 competitions that are running, and each one of them represents a different group. They have one for breast cancer awareness. They have one for young children in sports. They have, of course, the cutest toddler. They have the cutest baby. And they've got a couple of unique ones coming up for October. It's the person who can dress the most unique for Halloween. I'm not sure where they went. Oh, it looks like they lost it. So you guys don't forget to vote, 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 vote. Let's get them in the #1 place. And I will see you on next week. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.